Again, tens, new beginnings based on an already established foundation. It's an invitation to move forward, to grow, to create new. And I want to say, like, stick a fork in me, I'm done. Stick 10 swords in me, I'm done. I'm not going to do things in the old way anymore. Hello all, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to New Moon Musings for the new moon on March 29th. And boy, is it gonna be a doozy. For those of you who are old hat to me, please click on the link in the description below to get started with the reading. For those of you who are brand new, welcome. So excited to have you. Stay tuned for this 1-minute clip that will let you know how you can make the most of this reading and how it works for you, because it's based on the new moon cycle. So we'll see you on the flip side. For those of you who are new to me, here's a quick little breakdown on how to make this reading work for you. The new moon cycle works where it moves in 3.5 basically days throughout that 28-day cycle. So sometimes you're in a phase a little bit longer or a little bit shorter. It is not linear. But what I do is I give you dates connected to each of the phases of the new moon cycle so that you can come back to the video after you've watched the whole thing, you've taken it all in, you come back to that video for those particular times so that you understand, okay, I'm in, the waxing crescent phase, and what do I need to know about that? What is transpiring in my world right now? And this information is really helpful because it's giving me perspective on what it is I need to learn, or maybe I need to pull back, or maybe I need to lean in a little bit more. So use this. It's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving. Use it throughout the month to support you. So our new moon is going to be in Aries season. And let me tell you, this is a season of fresh starts, new beginnings, a lot of fire and motivation and passion to the things that you want to get started. And you want that, I want to say, that fast action, that fast acting, let's get her done. Let's not beat around the bush. It is time. Now's the time, seize the day. And that's where a lot of this energy is going to come through. And our new moon in Aries is happening on at 3:58 a.m. Eastern Standard, which is 8:58 a.m. UTC time. So this is going to be a time of, it's perfect because it is springtime, right? Happy spring and happy birthday, Aries. But it's very fitting at this time when we are in that spring mode. This is the time where we can plant seeds. We can take action steps to make things grow, to bring things into our now and into our physical experience that we want to grow. We want to manifest. We want to have the experience. We want it to be tangible. So this is a great time for all of that to happen. So I'm just going to click over here now to the reading prompts, and we are going to be pulling cards this month from the Calendra Tarot. And we're going to start with our release card. So the release card is, what am I releasing from that previous season, the previous cycle? And it's that new moon cycle that we just had, which was Pisces. So we have 4 of Swords. This is interesting. We're releasing that energy of rest, truce. The 4 of Swords is about calling a truce to your mind, I want to say the monkey mind, to the obsessive thoughts that are in your head. This is an opportunity to take a step back, to observe, to be in the energies of what you have created, to be with what is in your present moment right now. So this makes a lot of sense. We're releasing that idea of observation and rest, and we're opening ourselves now to a space of action. So that really, that's pretty on the nose. So now we are going to pull our soul card. And I absolutely love the soul card because this is all about the collective soul. What is the collective learning and growth Ooh, that's popping right out there for this moon cycle. And I apologize, my table is a little wobbly here, so I'm going to do my best not to shake it up too much. So our collective learning and growth for this moon cycle, we've got the High Priestess. And I love this because as a collective right now, we are in a space and a place where we have no idea what the fark is going on. There are some pretty batshit crazy things that are happening in the world right now. Whether you're in the US where I'm at or elsewhere in the world, we are all sort of collectively going WTF. And so the High Priestess comes in to say, detach. Detach emotionally from all of the nonsense and shenaniganery. Detach from the game of life and really rely solely on your intuition, on that inner knowing. Go in and listen to yourself. Listen to your guides. Listen to your body and what your body is telling you about how you feel with different opportunities that are presenting themselves. I love the High Priestess because she really encourages us to trust in what it is that we are receiving. Her connection is always the connection to self and source. And, you know, she's going to pass on words and information and guidance, but she's passing it on based on what source is presenting. She's not sugarcoating it. She's not interpreting it. She's literally giving it to you the way she gets it. And she doesn't really give a fig for how it goes with anything else. So I feel like from that collective learning and growth, we can learn a lot from her by trusting in what it is that we're receiving and let all the rest go. I like it. Okay, and now we are going to pull cards for our new moon. And again, this new moon, as we talked about, is a new moon in Aries. And this is really going to be about the fresh start, the new beginning. Sorry, I've got one card that's getting stuck here. This is what I get for trying to take advantage of the beautiful weather that we have outside today. I decided, you know what, I'm just going to do all my recordings and stuff outside today. Anyway, okay, so the new moon card, I manifest. What energies are here to support my manifesting? How can I lean into their wisdom? So this Aries new moon, like I said, it's about the new beginnings, the fresh starts, that spring type energy. So it's the perfect time for manifesting. And oh, I love it. 8 of Wands. So the energy that is here to support you is that fire energy. The wands, swift release, swift action, swift communication. Here's the message for you guys. During this particular window of time, and this is happening on March 29th through to the 31st, you want to not second guess or doubt your, I want to say, your initial thought on things. You want to go based on the first answer, the first response, the initial feeling of yes, I'm saying yes to this, or hell no, I'm saying hell no to this. You don't want to overthink it. You don't want to go back and go, well, this and that. I feel like the energy that's supporting us during this time is really encouraging us to say, and it's not about impulsivity. It's more about calculated risk, to say yes to the calculated risk. I feel like on a personal level, in our personal lives, there's going to be some opportunity to do personal risk, to challenge yourself with something that might be, I want to say, something you've never thought about before. I'm going to just use the extreme analogy of I've never done skydiving before, and all of a sudden there's an opportunity for me to go skydiving, and it's something I've wanted to do. So, you know, I'm not going to think twice about it. I'm going to say, yes, hell yes, let's do this. You know, tell me when and where and I'll be there. It's time. You can think about it afterwards and go, OMG, you know, like, I don't know if I want to do this or blah, 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 blah. But I feel like you initially want to just give yourself permission to say yes, to take those calculated risks for yourself. Because what is showing up at this time on an individual level is here to expand yourself personally. And that's where a lot of the expansion is going to happen, because collectively we are still very much, I want to say, in a space of contraction and WTF. So we don't know. The sky the sky has fallen, the ground has opened up, and we're still kind of in the earthquake and the aftershock of things. So we don't really know exactly what everything's going to look like. But on a personal level, in your personal life, you can connect with this. So, I love that. And you're going to manifest all of your dreams and desires quickly, provided that you ride the wave of that swift energy. And now we're at our waxing crescent, and our waxing crescent is April 1st through to the 3rd. I plan. What do I need to consider when creating my plan for the cycle? Any challenges or opportunities to be aware of? Okay, we've got the Tower. So in this situation, what I feel like you want to consider is kind of what I was talking about before. We're still in the earthquake. The Tower is still burning. It hasn't completely resolved its, sorry for the plane in the background there. The Tower is still burning. The Tower is still considering its options. The Tower is still in a space of, I want to say, sort of crisis mode, reactionary mode. And if you're going into a plan space, you want to plan understanding and knowing that there's a lot of unknowns. There's a lot that, hasn't fallen to the ground yet. The dust hasn't settled yet. So when you're creating your plans, I want you to have a lot of fluidity, a lot of flexibility in those plans for yourself during these few days. Give yourself permission to have a plan A and a plan B. You don't have to be obsessive about it. You don't have to be anxious about it. You just want to understand, okay, whatever it is that I'm planning right now, things could shift. So I want to get kind of the heart of it, but I also want to be open and flexible to being able to maneuver and be able to have multiple different options to be able to make this happen. I also feel when we're talking about the Tower card, it very much is about shifting perspectives. And we're going to be in the thick of this. Nothing is going to look the same. Nothing looks the same from the beginning of the year to now. And now we're going into this new moon cycle, right? So you want to understand that the only perspective that you need to worry about is your own. Don't worry about everybody else's perspective. Focus on your plan. Focus on what feels right to you, what looks good to you, what feels like it's going to get you to where you want to be. I'm going to say to you that in terms of challenges or opportunities to be aware of, there is going to be a lot of fear, collective fear. And I'm going to encourage each and every one of us to choose the faith and the trust over the fear. And by doing that, it's kind of like how we do that is we focus on our individual choices. We focus on our individual lives and the individual plan. Now is not a time for us to be planning for the collective, but it is a time for us to plan for ourselves. And planning that without involving fear in it is going to serve you so much better than if you are planning from a place of fear. Because when we plan, we manifest. The plan is the blueprint. So keep your head above water, keep your eye on the prize, and really be in a space of everything else is going to figure itself out. There's nothing I can do right now to change any of that, but I can focus on this here, my little microcosm of life. So focus on that. First quarter, April 4th to the 7th. I act. What energy fuels my motivation? How can I collaborate with source energy to empower my actions? So this is important because, you've put the plan out there, you've created the blueprint, and now it's like approving the blueprint, and now you're breaking ground, right? So when we talk about the energy that's going to fuel your motivation, I love it. It's the Wheel of Fortune. So luck is on your side. This is definitely the energy that is supporting you. When it talks about fueling your motivation, what we were talking about earlier is putting the focus on you, your life, your choices, your plan, what you're doing now. And I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is going to be kind to you. The Wheel of Fortune, and this is the card of calculated risk. So I think that's interesting. I was talking about calculated risk earlier. This is the card of that calculated risk. This is the card that says, as long as you're flexible, you can adapt. The universe might not bring you exactly what it is that you think you need, but the universe is always going to bring you absolutely what you need. And it's going to, I want to say, throw in a little bit of chance and a little bit of luck in there for you as well. Because if we knew how everything was going to turn out all the time, it wouldn't be very fun. Life would be a bit boring. So I want to say this is kind of like the wild card. And you want to use those random experiences and those random events that are coming in during this particular period of time to provide those plan A's, plan B's, plan C's, to be flexible and in flow with what is coming up. And in terms of the collaboration with source energy to empower your actions, what we're seeing in this card is she's gathering the energy and she's utilizing that energy. She's gathering it up because she's going to use it to focus whatever it is that she wants to focus on. So pay attention to the resources that are around you and use them. This is not a time to be overthinking. Again, same message, right? It's not a time for overthinking. This is a time for, what do I have around me? Let me make the most of what is here, because everything is fleeting. I don't know how long this is going to be around, so let me be present with it. Let me take advantage of what this is going to provide. And let me be creative, extremely creative around how I'm using it. I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is also very much encouraging us during this I act stage and phase to act with enthusiasm, act with joy for the adventure, embrace the fact that you don't always know how things are going to play out or turn out, and see that as part of the creation. Make it part of the creation. I'm going to tell you a quick little story. I have been doing a pottery class. I did a pottery class many years ago and loved it. And when I moved out here to Phoenix, I decided that I wanted to get involved with that again. And it's an opportunity to meet new people and potentially make some new friends. And it's just creative. And I created this absolutely incredible, I don't know what you call it, vase or container out of an accident that happened. And at first we were going to sort of like repurpose the clay and start from scratch because the thing fell over and whatever. But I was like, you know what? No, this is an opportunity for me to be even more creative, to work outside of the form. And I did it, and I created the most beautiful thing. It was my favorite piece of the 12 pieces that I made. It was my favorite piece. And in the middle of the sort of the process of creating it, after I had decided what it was going to become, a fellow classmate didn't mean to, but she bumped into it and she broke a couple of the leaves off of it. And at first I was just like devastated, right? It was my ego getting in the way and that perfectionism getting in the way. And I just really loved that piece. But the way that it broke, it was something where I thought, you know what? It's kind of like that Japanese, I forget the term, kasuki or something like that, where you fill it in with gold and it makes it even more beautiful than its original form. And it tells the story of its experience and its life. And that's what I chose to do. I chose not to throw it out, and instead to work with what it is and to create it even more. So I really stepped into that energy of, that's how I am working creatively with what the universe is presenting me with. I'm getting out of my own way. So I offer that because I feel like some of you need to hear that during this particular window of time. So now we are at our waxing gibbous. I choose, what energy can I lean into for confidence as I discern my commitments? And the waxing gibbous is happening on April 8th through to the 11th. So when we are choosing, we need to be confident in our choosing. We need to trust and know that there are no wrong choices. So let's see what card is going to support us. Oh, I love it. The King of Pentacles. So when the King of Pentacles comes up at this particular time, this is a message. We were talking earlier about the resources, and I think it's so fascinating that all of these cards are leaning into each other. King of Pentacles has all the resources that he needs, and he's pretty chill about what's coming up and coming through. He's manifested things a million times over, so he trusts and knows that the cycles of life are going to happen. So his choices aren't about survival. His choices aren't about I want to say the foundation of things. His choices are more about how can I expand and grow out of what is already here? How can I make the most of the growth and the abundance that is here? How can I expand my own growing abilities, capabilities, my own manifesting, to really harness the excitement of life? He's been through many different harvest cycles. So obviously you need, a harvest cycle to eat. So there's excitement in just knowing that you've got enough to survive. But King of Pentacles goes beyond that. He says, I don't want to just survive, I thrive. And not only do I thrive, but I thrive when I am growing, when I am expanding outside of the typical, the known, the anticipated, the predictable. So I feel like this window of time is inviting you to choose the less walked path, right? To choose the road less traveled, to look at everything that is there, to be grateful for all that you have, and then to say, how can I improve upon this? How can I extend this? How can I give more this year than I gave last year, for example? How can I give away more and still have the things that I need? How can I share more and be a participant with that, with the people that I'm sharing with? How can I get the message or the word out? So the choices are your own, and the choices are connected to the abundance is already here. So I don't have to worry about the foundation. Now it's about creatively expanding on what is already here, because that's where the growth occurs. That's where I can really connect my wisdom and allow that wisdom to expand me in ways that I can't even imagine at this point in time. So when we're talking about the discernment of commitments, I feel like this window of time, you kind of already know what your commitments are. That's not in question. This is really about, I want to say, not overcommitting yourself. And the things that you are committing to are really about your own growth. Others are going to grow through your own growth. Don't negate that. Put the focus on where you're at and what you want to do. Again, it's your choice. It's all about your choice. And remember, all of our choices have consequences, good, bad, or indifferent. So it's about responsibility, owning your choices, being responsible for what that is. And now we're at our full moon card. And so let's talk about our full moon. Our full moon is going to be happening on April 12th from 5:23 p.m. EST, which is 10:23 p.m. UTC. And the full moon is in Libra. And so here are some things we need to consider during this full moon energy. And I feel like there is something global that is going to be facing all of us at this time. Something that has occurred, and we are now, sort of having to come together to a certain degree to determine next steps. And so I feel like it's receiving heartfelt compassion, love, all around, because we're all one and we're all doing these things together. And when we're talking about that Libran energy, what's going to sort of transpire during this full moon is that there are going to be issues coming up around relationships. And any relationships that you have, this is love, romantic, or other, okay, all relationships, where things are rocky, where things are a little shaky, not fully on solid ground, discussions that haven't been fully resolved yet are going to come to the surface. This is going to be a time where you are going to be seeking resolution. You are going to be, I see here, it's great for revelations. You're going to be receiving a lot of revelation, a lot of clarity that's going to lead to resolve. But there's a breakdown before there's a breakthrough on something. And when it comes to relationships, this is going to be the big focus. Anything that is a glaring error or something that you guys are, it's the big pink elephant in the room. That's the thing that you're going to want to address. That's the thing that the full moon is going to shed light on. And remember, moonlight is different than sunlight. Sunlight is the light of truth. Moonlight is a softer, gentler light to it. And sometimes it can cast shadows that cause things to not always be what they seem. So it's encouraging you to open yourself to improving those relationships, but not taking everything at face value. Ask a lot of questions. The clarity will come. The revelations will be huge. You don't necessarily have to act on them. You're receiving those revelations. And in the next phase, you can start to move towards that. But this is going to be a time to receive, and that's exactly what it is. I receive. How can I best open to the energies of this full moon to receive clarity, guidance, direction? What gift does this full moon offer to me? I love it. Our second 8. So this is really interesting because our new moon was 8 of Wands. And now our full moon is 8 of Pentacles. So Wands is that fire, the swift action, the swift release, a lot about communication. And the 8 of Pentacles is the work, the detailed work. It's joyful work. It's higher education, expanding and exploring new ways to assimilate energy, to assimilate information, to process the wisdom. And I feel very much here that as you're receiving those revelations and that clarity, and you are adjusting your sort of relationship approaches by fine-tuning. It's all about the fine-tuning. It's all about paying attention to the details, but not from a perfectionistic attitude or perspective, more so from the, this is going to make things better. And so why wouldn't I want to make things better? Why wouldn't I want to take the extra time, the extra few steps, or the extra couple of minutes to dot the I's and cross the T's? Because it's possible. It's right there. It's not a far reach. It's literally right there. It's kind of like the student who, throws the essay together and there are scrapes and blotches and, food on it and all the rest of it. And they just kind of throw it in and they sort of half-ass it, or they go 3/4 of the way, but not the full way. And then you've got the other student who took the extra 5 minutes to make sure that it was printed on appropriate paper, got the file folder, and put even a little cardboard piece in there to make sure that the papers didn't get bent, put it in a Ziploc bag. Some people laugh at that, but then it really shows on the other side because the information was received in an easier way. There weren't like ketchup splotches that blocked certain words in the essay. The first student, their essay was amazing, could have been absolutely amazing, but the presentation of it made it difficult to see beyond that or to get the full message. So the 8 of Pentacles is inviting us all to receive, but to receive in a way that we are taking our time. We're not rushing through this. We're paying attention to the details because it's the details that are helping us to get the full message and therefore the full Monty, right? Like the full potential of everything, the whole hog, as I like to say. So that is going to be really significant. I'm also feeling like whatever this is that I am seeing that we are processing collectively is going to be something that it's one of those things where things are not the same afterwards. It's kind of a before and after. The most recent one that we can think about is COVID. Before COVID, pre-COVID, and post-COVID, right? There's a clear delineation in everyone's experience. Here's who I was pre-COVID. Here's who I am post-COVID, right? It's going to be one of those things as well. But I want to say take heart in understanding that it is all happening so that we can make better choices for ourselves as a collective. And I feel that as long as we are compassionate to one another and we are leaning into one another, we're going to be just fine. And now we're at our Disseminating Moon card. And this is I Acknowledge, April 16th through the 19th. How best can I honor my gifts and my light during this time? Where can I express gratitude from the heart? Oh, I love it. Okay, the Death card. You're going to acknowledge that the shift and the change has occurred. I say this all the time. So for those of you who watch me, you've heard me say this probably a million times at this point. The change that this is representing is not the kind of change that you can stave off. It's not the kind of change that you can stop or redirect or course correct. This is the change that it's here, it's coming, it's happening. So don't waste your time on trying to stop the change. Spend your time and your energy on how you're going to navigate the change, how you're going to invite the change in, how you're going to greet it and engage with it, or not engage with it. So what I'm feeling here, especially after sort of that Eight of Pentacles and sort of what I have been seeing coming in through the collective, I feel like the Death card is coming through, and I love that there's a kind of a bee that's being represented here, because the energy here is, okay, I acknowledge that the change is here, and I also acknowledge that there is some more work. That the Eight of Pentacles, I put a lot of work into receiving, into again, not perfection, but the details. And now I'm so grateful that I did, because with the Death card showing up, all of those details now make more sense. All of those details help me to line up my truth and line up for me my next steps. And I'm really feeling here, when we talk about the bee, it's the worker bee. So it's the understanding that there's a new level and layer of work. It doesn't have to be sad. It doesn't have to be laborious. It doesn't need to be unwanted or unenjoyable. It is in the perspective. The bee was born this way. The bee was born to produce the honey, or to go out and, go from flower to pollinate, and then to bring all of that stuff back to the hive. We were also born to learn how to adapt to change. And through that process of change, there is a certain level of work. It doesn't mean we have to work, I want to say, work smarter, not harder, right? It doesn't mean we have to put in a ton of hard work, or that this has to be hard work. But it does mean that we need to acknowledge that work is required, and it's all in your approach. How do you want to do that? So I want to say, what light are you going to bring to this death? What light are you going to bring to this transformation? How are you going to make it matter and make it count? When we talk about the where can I express gratitude from the heart, when we do experience change, even when it's seemingly unwanted change, there is gratitude that comes in understanding how you have been changed positively as a result of whatever has come up in your circumstances. And so I feel like that's where you want to connect with your gratitude and express that, even if I don't know who I'm becoming yet, I'm grateful in advance for the fact that I know that I will be becoming somebody new. And I look forward to being a part of that. I'm acknowledging that that is part of my path and purpose. And I'm not mad at it. I'm just letting it be. There's no point in getting mad at the wind for blowing, right? That's who you are. You're an agent of change. Our third quarter, we've got April 20th to the 23rd. I claim what is being completed in my life at this time, and how can I connect to its release with conviction? I love this. 10 of Pentacles. So claiming your legacy, claiming your choices, claiming the exact levels of effort, energetic or otherwise, that you have invested in yourself. And I want to say, to this point, calling it good, calling it great. And now leave it behind. You've claimed it. You own it. It's a part of you now. You don't need to shout it from the rooftops any longer. Use it now because it's integrated. And what is the next thing that you're moving on to? So the 10 of Pentacles is always a new beginning based on an already established foundation. And when I keep, coming back to the question, what is being completed in my life at this time? I feel like there's a lot of completion for all of us. I want to say again, I'm feeling like a lot of this is going to come through in the personal, the personal approach to life, the personal energies, the personal choices, and the self-directed awareness journeys, more and more people are going to claim the fact that they don't necessarily know who they are, or they don't know what they're supposed to be doing here. You guys who are watching this video right now, you've already kind of done a lot of that work. So acknowledge how far you've come with that, and recognize that we are all now at the next level. We're standing at the beginning of, level 4 or level 6 or level 10, whatever level you're at. I'm thinking of the video games all the time, right? You did the boss battle, you won, and it might have taken you a while to get through that particular level, but you did it, and now you're on to the next. So 10 of Pentacles is also inviting you to release with conviction, because very much like the King of Pentacles, you've already arrived. You've got all the things that you need. There's nothing more that you need in relation to who you are right now. This is about, I've claimed all of that, and now I'm going to use that to move forward. I'm going to use that for what I'm creating now, the next vision and version of me, the next layer and level of my legacy. Or maybe I'm doing a completely new legacy. Who says that you have to only leave one legacy behind, right? Multiple legacy. I claim. I love that. And now we are at our Balsamic moon, and this is happening on April 24th through to the 26th. I surrender. What energy can I lean into to fly free into this new version of me? What can I consider as I embrace this opportunity to know myself anew? Ooh, we have a lot of major arcana in this reading. So this is a big month. We've got the Empress card. And it's interesting that this is a I surrender piece when we get the Empress. The Empress is all about abundance. The Empress says, what is mine is yours. But you got to put in a little work. You got to put a little effort into that. This is also a Venus card, which I think is important because we just came out of a full moon in Libra, and Libra is a Venus, Libra sign is ruled by Venus. Venus is one of the Libra planets. And I feel that the Empress is also speaking to that. So what does Venus mean when we're talking about surrender? Venus is all about the beauty, not so much structure and order, but I want to say the beautiful symmetry of asymmetry. It's surrendering to the things that we think are supposed to be perfect and saying, let me look at it a different way, because all of it is perfect. All of it is beautiful. All of it is wonderful. The Empress is also saying, surrender to what is coming to you, because now it is time for you to receive the levels of abundance that come with the level of work that you've been doing. And this card has nothing to do with shadow work, but I feel like we have all, in this particular cycle, gone through some shadow work. Again, you notice I've been talking a lot about the personal journey. We started the reading off by it being about you, not worrying so much about all of the collective. It's there. You can tap in at any given time if you want to. It's not going anywhere yet. So that's always available to you. But where the focus is really going to give you the most bang for your buck is on that personal journey. And the Empress says, hell yeah, make this about you, because you have that abundance because of the work that you've done. You've done the shadow work. Surrender to what you've discovered. Surrender to all of it, to what that means to you. Or maybe you've done some of the shadow work and you're still in the middle of it and you're like, I still don't like what I've seen, and I don't like who I am with all of this, and I still haven't been able to heal it or release it. I want to say to you, Empress says, own it all, because it's all part of the journey. It's all part of the abundance. We take the good with the bad with the indifferent. Everything in between. Surrender to what is, because when we surrender to the truth, now we're cooking with gas. Now we've got choices. Now we've got options, and we can do some pretty amazing things with that. And we are now at our Dark Moon card. And so the Dark Moon card is not a scientific phase of the new moon cycle, but it is an energetic phase. And so this is all about I release. And this is going to be happening on the 25th of April. What can I release control of or walk away from, knowing it has served its purpose? And how can I remain open to the new and unknown in this process? 10 of Swords. Releasing the energy of rebirth right now. So this card, I feel, is basically saying, kind of like what we were talking about with the Tower card. The Tower has not completely fallen yet. It's still burning. We don't know how it's going to land. We don't know what's going to be left. We're still in the middle of the chaos. We're still in the middle of the earthquake. So release the idea that you've got to fix something right now, that you've got to rebirth yourself right now. You don't need to do that. Release the pressure of all of that and allow yourself, I want to say, to be kind of in the phoenix growing phase, where you are in a bubble, you are in the womb, you're receiving, you're growing, you're contemplating, you're reflecting, you're acting on the things that you know at this point that you've been activated to do, right? What you've created with your plan. Those are the things that you want to focus on, and release everything else. Release perfection. Release the idea that you have to be a certain form or a certain way or at a certain level by a certain time. Release all of it. None of that is true. None of that matters. And none of it is going to actually get you to where it is that you want to be. I feel like this 10 of Swords is basically saying, let go of the past, the ways that you have done things in the past. Let go of the expectation based on, I put this effort in, I'm going to get this effort out. Because all of it is different. All of it is new. And the 10 of Swords invites you to leave behind those things that maybe you aren't very proud of, or that you recognize, okay, that was part of an old lesson or an old version of myself, and I'm ready for something new. This is, I think, your second 10. Yeah, we had 10 of Pentacles. Third 10. We had the Wheel of Fortune. We had the 10 of Pentacles, and now we have the 10 of Swords. So again, 10s, new beginnings based on an already established foundation. It's an invitation to move forward, to grow, to create new. And I want to say, like, stick a fork in me, I'm done. Stick 10 swords in me, I'm done. I'm not going to do things in the old way anymore. I'm not going to seek out old. I'm going to instead seek out the creativity path. I'm going to seek to, I've talked about this before, and I think this came up in last month's cycle as well. I'm going to seek to reinvent the wheel just because it's a question worth asking right now. That's how I'm remaining open and new, open to the new and the unknown in that process, is I'm dismissing what has been, what was and what has been. I'm dismissing the old standards, and I'm embarking on something new. It doesn't mean that everything that's old or past is no longer good. I don't mean that. But we are really at a place and a space in time where all the old is breaking down anyway. So what do we need to know about it? What do we need to do with it? We need to learn from it, and we need to create something new, because it's had its day. And that's what this cycle is really going to share with us. So that is our new moon musings for the new moon on March 29th. As always, sending you guys so much love and so much support. Of course, if you like what you see here, please like and subscribe and get all the content. Also, you might enjoy checking out my new show, Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life. That is released every other Wednesday on my YouTube channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Would love to see you there. Would love to hear some of the comments on the, I want to say, fresh new approach that I am taking to sharing myself and my life and my transformation with all of you. So would love to hear some feedback on that. Otherwise, you guys have the most amazing cycle, and we will see you on the flip side. Transform well.